Y'all ready to start this?
Sure.
Play the intro.
No headphones, huh? No headsets?
Nope.
Okay.
Because, check this out.
We're back on Stunt Stories.
Yes.
This is awesome. Show number
14.
is it 14? We always ask and no one seems to know.
13.
13. Okay.
We're getting closer.
The
We
only,
are.
the only person that knows is the editor.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's you, Dave.
No.
Okay. Skylar, you know then.
David's just here for the looks.
Hey, I'm excited today because we have a very special guest. This beautiful woman to my left, Sally Eubanks. Thank you for being on Stunt Stories. This is a first for you, huh?
Yeah. Thanks for having me.
All right. Hey, well, that was great.
Yeah.
Yep. Thank
Next
y'all.
episode, you know what? I'm going to let you explain how did you become a professional stunt woman doing stunts for like Jessica Simpson and what was her from Desperate Housewives?
Wow. Nicolette
Sheridan.
Mm-hmm.
And the films that you've worked on. If you forget, I might remind
sure.
you of some of them because you've done a lot of TV shows and commercials and stuff.
Well, I got started when you and I started dating, and you asked me if I would be interested. You had watched me driving and kind
So
of
you're
came
saying nepotism.
yeah, I would say. But I think I deserved it. But you were a great teacher, and you bought me a Chevy Caprice. It was like, what, a 1982?
Too.
And started at the ranch in the dirt and just throwing 90s. And I remember always getting so frustrated and talking to you through the window, and you're like,
Through the windshield. I'm like, you're
I
50
can't
yards
hear
away and you're
you.
talking with all the windows up. And I'm like, I can't hear you. I
yes.
can't, nothing.
Yeah, he would just be,
Yeah.
yeah. So then after that, and you taught me all like the fundamentals and the basics, but on dirt. And then,
But remember, we used to go out into the roads behind.
oh yeah, you would take me in the back roads.
Behind the vineyards on public
Yes.
roads, and I'd have her
Yes.
sliding corners at 50 miles an hour. I'm like,
just his son, Casey, at one end, him at the other, making sure there's no cars. Like it was like
Yeah.
not even regulated.
live
Just
traffic.
go.
Basically breaking the law. You're like a criminal.
Right. So then, you sent me to what, three other driving schools,
I sent you to Rick Seaman's driving school
which was a fantastic driving
when Rick
school.
Seaman was teaching it.
Yes.
And then you went to didn't you go to his second one?
Well, I went to Bobby Orr's first. Bobby Orr's where I started. That was my very first one. Then advancing to Rick Seaman because he was more.
Yeah,
No,
these are
he's-
stunt driving schools, like a 2-3 day school that she went to. And tell them about the one in Canada.
So then we went to Canada not expecting for me to do the course. We went because you were going to do a commercial. It was for IFPDI, which was International Film and Driving Institute.
God,
And
your memory is so good.
so that was in Toronto, Canada.
Dave, aren't you jealous? You got a good memory.
Sometimes. And then, so when we went and you guys were shooting the commercial, well, they had a course going on as well. Well, then I don't know, you and the guy started talking, and the next thing I knew, I was doing the course.
Yeah, you were in the competition.
And then, yes, I was,
If I recall correctly, you won the competition.
I did.
Yeah. You cheated, but you won.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
didn't cheat. You were.
If you're
No,
not
but
cheating,
the
you're not
funny
trying.
thing, yeah.
Yeah.
Funny thing was, Gil Combs, when I threw that 90, which you have to admit, that was pretty close to being a perfect 90.
It was.
And Al
was-
White
yeah,
Jr. even
said
admitted.
it was perfect.
And then Gil gets out like, oh, I'm going to see it's got to be like 2 feet from
Yeah.
here.
And
And
Gil, everyone knew
Who
that one
does
foot,
that?
his right foot's bigger than his left.
it was just that ego.
All of the
like
calculations he was doing were just
the woman can't
yeah.
do better. But yeah, I was shocked. Like,
So after you went through these stunt driving schools, and I kind of taught you some basics, and then you went and
well, then you got me started with, I needed to get my SAG card. So I went to, I started working for Bill Young doing background driving. So I learned the etiquette
On films, right?
on films.
TV shows. And
Film and TV. And so that's where I learned a lot of set etiquette was, just the do's and don'ts. And I
Yeah.
saw a lot of this behind the scenes of the stunts. So that gave me a lot of education. And then my first job, you introduced me to Billy Hammond.
oh my gosh, this first job.
Yeah,
that was
probably
okay.
one
so
of my favorites.
Auto Rocks
Auto Rocks.
with
yes.
Joe Rogan,
Joe Rogan,
uh,
Randy Couture,
Randy Couture,
Wow.
Kid Rock,
Kid Rock,
and
Carmen Electra,
Oh.
and Carol Shelby.
Yeah, I saw Carol Shelby on here.
yeah.
Yeah.
Tell them about that. Tell them about that.
Oh gosh, it was an amazing experience because first of all I didn't even know who Carol Shelby was. So that
As
was
she's
like
climbing into his
yeah,
personal
as
Cobra.
the car prep guys are like dusting off the car and they're like, don't say that. And so they educated me on who he was. And I'm like, okay, I feel really stupid. But
Yeah.
so the nicest gentleman. He was
Babe,
like
wasn't
80.
that a manual transmission?
No, it was automatic.
Oh, it was automatic.
It was automatic.
Carol
It
Shelby
was
drove
the-
it automatic.
It was the GT500 that was the manual that I had to take out for Barrett Jackson to show how I could drive a stick.
Right. So they wanted to see if you could drive a manual transmission, a stick shift, and then they stuck you into an automatic.
No.
Oh.
Carol Shelby's was the automatic. When Kid Rock saw the GT500 on stage and it was convertible, he wanted to come in on that instead of the Ford
Oh,
truck.
okay.
So then we had to do like some rearranging and
And then
that's when they said, well, can you drive a manual?
and you told Kid Rock that I jumped the General Lee.
Yeah, he loved it because he owns one. He has one.
Right.
And so he was super like, what? So we hit it off. We had great conversation
Yeah.
while waiting backstage. And the funny thing is, when we were backstage waiting, it was behind these like automatic doors that they open up and you have to drive out and hit a turntable.
You up a ramp.
No. That was for
Oh.
Carol Shelby. Just with Kid Rock, I was already up on stage. And so I just had to, once the doors open, drive out and still hit the turntable.
And it was turning.
And it was turning. Yes. But he would lean his foot over and come over and start revving because he wanted me to rev the engine. So he was doing it. I'm like, oh my, I'm going to get busted.
Or did he want you to shoot off into the audience?
Well, I don't know. Maybe that too.
Yeah.
Have a real
That
good
would have been me.
show.
I'd be like, what'd you do that for, Sally?
Yeah.
Why did you jump into the audience?
But it was so cool because it being a live show and then you got like this private like concert too when
Yeah.
he came out. So he was a very, very nice man.
When you drove up Randy Couture,
That was
were
fun.
you staring at his ears?
I tried not to because you told me. You told me that. You're like, whatever you do, don't look at his ears. When I told him, because when I first met him, I didn't even pay any attention. Then you told me who he was. I'm like, oh my gosh. So then I'm trying not to look. And he's super nervous. He's like, you take him out of his comfort zone. And he couldn't memorize the words, and it was very little. So they ended up changing them for him. But it's funny to take someone like that who's so massive and strong. And
Yeah. We talked smack about you in Hawaii.
did you really?
We were on Hawaii 5-0.
You probably didn't even remember.
No. I refreshed his memory.
Oh, you did?
And I said, yeah, and she divorced me. And he's, what a bitch. You know? She choked her out, you know.
Whatever.
Did you get to meet Joe Rogan? I mean, you
Yeah, I did.
yeah, you
I
guys
did. And it was very quick. So I didn't have a very good impression of Joe at the time. But I figured, you know what? We're in a business
Well-
environment. He's one of the hosts.
and he was still kind of the Fear Factor guy back
He was
then,
still
wasn't
the
he?
Fear Factor guy.
Yep.
Yes, he
It
was.
wasn't the I mean, he
Was
had
that
his podcast
2004?
going, but I don't think he wasn't Joe Rogan like he is
No,
today.
he wasn't like he is
He
today.
still had his hair, didn't he?
He did.
Oh,
Yeah.
He did have
So
his
he was
hair.
like, it was like in his living room when he was doing that podcast.
Probably, yeah.
Probably
Very
just
early.
starting out. Yeah.
Kind of like this.
But so Carol Shelby, that and he, what an icon that man. Just,
Yes.
and you got to ride in his car with him
Right.
and talk. to him.
I mean, can you imagine
Yeah.
driving him in his car?
You're all
I
that.
get
This
how
piece
you,
of
I
shit
get how
won't
you would
start.
not know him though, because like if you're not a motorhead, then
Yeah,
you would.
no,
Yeah.
exactly.
You
You
know?
know, and especially like these car prep guys obviously thought that I was going to be more educated, maybe thinking that you would know. Like, I
Yeah.
was like, what?
I swear, if I was in his car, I'd stall it.
That
This piece of shit won't start.
he
Fords
did
are
tell
shit.
me.
Yeah.
He said, he looked at me and he said, I just have to say that, he said, with all the technology, he was very into technology and how much of progression there had been, that we were going to be living into our hundreds. Like he was just, that's what he wanted to talk about was
really?
like, yeah, like,
Huh.
because he had just had, I think he had like a transplant or something, I want to say. But
okay.
anyway, nice man.
So in addition to, you guys got questions you want to?
I
Yeah.
was just gonna would you touch on like the etiquettes of the do's and don'ts behind the
Behind
scenes?
the,
Like
the scenes.
yeah.
Yeah, there's like, I mean, I was always taught by Corey, like you don't ever really want to bother, like if you're doubling someone, you don't really want to bother them with like photos and stuff. You're there to do your job.
Right.
So that's what I had always appreciated when I doubled for Nicolette Sheridan, was the fact that she was very good to me. And a lot of the women that worked on the set, the actresses
Desperate Housewives.
on Desperate Housewives, they were very,
Bitches, right?
yeah, they were rude and rude to their
Frickin'.
stunt doubles. Like Nicolette was always like, come in my trailer here. I got this extra lash serum. Do you want? I was like, wow. But then again, she also had a mutual friend, but she wasn't doing it just because of that. She was a cool woman.
It was
Like,
just yeah.
just very laid back, down to earth. Like, let's just get the job done and get out of here. But that was one of the things, like, don't bother but if they're open to it, sure, you know. And then there's other things like just who you're going to have conversation with, you know, stick to the stunt people. Don't really go around the actors, actresses. Other things like trying to think of that are so important. Just
Wasn't there a lot of tension on that set? Like Nicolette didn't really get. Who was the girl, the lead actor?
Terry Hatcher.
What? Yeah. What?
She was
A horrible person.
terrible to her hairdressers, her makeup. I mean,
There she is. Even the lenses
But
didn't like her.
you hear like stories about
yes.
like certain people on set. I
Yeah.
guess the
Longoria.
daughter on Modern Family was like a terror.
Oh,
And
How
how
was?
long were you on Desperate Housewives?
like 6 years.
Oh wow.
Mm-hmm.
And what did you do? You were Jessica Simpson's stunt double.
I did one commercial. It was the Weight Watchers commercial. And I was really excited because
You got to wear the Daisy Dukes, didn't you?
no,
Oh.
I didn't.
Corey probably did.
When she landed that spot, I was like, oh my gosh, if I double her now, I'll continue to double her. And I knew that it was going to be several spots after that. Well, when I went to work that day, I found out, yes, they were breaking that commercial up into 3 spots, but she was pregnant. So she had to give it up.
Yeah.
So I was really bummed about that, but it ended up being a great job. She was very sweet. There was one funny thing, driving the truck. I had to drive a 1968 Ford pickup truck that was like souped up. Well, she couldn't drive the truck and do this motion out the window. And so
What do you mean?
driving the truck, she just,
And just
couldn't
out the
get it with her hand. You know how you play with the wind?
Yeah. I saw a 4-year-old do that once.
Call it so what happened was she slammed on the brakes and the camera guy on the back of the truck
Went flying.
and the camera went flying.
Really?
So they took me and they had to put fake nails on and do all that so they could get that
I
shot.
remember you, and you
Remember that?
skidded up to the edge of a dirt cliff or
Yeah,
something.
and I had Tucker, the dog. He was a Labradoodle. He was my passenger. And the trainer was down at in the floorboard of the truck holding on to him so he wouldn't go flying forward. Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Gosh.
Yeah.
So tell them
Can't.
you can't do that. Yeah, that's too much.
Isn't that funny? I know. And she was so embarrassed. Bless her heart.
Yeah?
She was yes.
Hey, tell them about we got married on a Sunday. When you
Saturday.
Okay, I was there. Where?
Were you?
Oh gosh, yeah, it was in Maui.
There it is.
Remember, we went to
Yeah,
Maui.
that's right. We did, huh?
Or where was it? San Ynez.
We got married in San Ynez at the Pepper
On a
Ranch.
Saturday. Dave, you're supposed to coach me on this
And
stuff.
then, well, think about it. We got married on a Saturday, woke up not feeling so hot that Sunday with a bunch of gifts and cleanup. And then we had to leave for work that Monday.
To work on.
Fast and Furious 3 Tokyo Drift
Yeah.
in
Victorville,
California.
That was our honeymoon. I'm like, yeah, we got married on a Saturday and it's already Monday and I'm making money off my new bride.
He was pimping me out.
So she was my passenger. Who's the actress? I was doubling Zachary Ty Bryan.
You always, I don't remember what the actress's name was. You'll have to look it up. I don't.
Oh, I bet
We
you.
have this scene.
Yeah, with the red viper.
You want to watch the scene real quick?
Sure. Just bring back memories. Yeah. It's Sammy Malouf is driving the Monte Carlo. He was so fun. Babe, remember that time he kept passing us? We're like, no, Sammy, in the story we're telling, we win. We get ahead of you. Remember that?
Yeah.
And Leonard's like,
He
Sammy,
couldn't handle it. Yeah.
Sammy, you come in second place.
Remember that?
This kid who's driving is funny. Right there, Zachary Ty Bryan in the Red Viper.
He was in Home Improvement.
He is also in my Bigfoot movie.
Yeah.
He mentioned that earlier.
Yeah.
I do remember us watching this one time. There's a spot where we pause it just right, and you can see both you and Corey. And
Yeah, like
Totally.
right there. You
there.
could, yeah.
Yeah.
And that wig, Sally's hair matched the actress
It was
so
the
perfect.
same. It was.
But they put a wig on so they can get the wig rental. That's what it is. The hair people, they want to make
such
money
a
off the
pain.
wig rental. There it is.
Oh, wait.
The horrible wig.
Yeah, well, you get the point.
Yeah. I remember when you guys were bumping and banging, and your side of the Viper, it kept, and they said that was one of the problems with the sale of it, was it would tear. Remember, it was ripping
Yes.
into the door.
Yes.
Almost got your ankle.
And then remember we climbed up the side of the Monte Carlo, got on two wheels for a little bit.
Yes.
I think that part's in the scene, isn't it?
Is it?
Like that scene right there is where you can, right there, you can see y'all two perfectly.
It was funny too because I wanted to do some big old drifts around the corner, and Leonard, like Sammy Malouf just did there. It's like, nope, he hasn't learned how to do that yet. He's got to go to Tokyo first before. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to show off and do something really cool.
You're
Nope.
like, okay, just don't record this part. I'm gonna do this really cool stunt. I don't know. I feel like Sally was the one driving. Pretty sure Corey was the one with the wig on.
Could have been. I have doubled many a women.
Remember how nervous Sammy was for this jump?
I know it is like, I go, Sammy, you're jumping off a curb. Oh, he had the jump vest on.
He was nervous.
Yeah, he was worried about busting his back, but it didn't get that much altitude.
I mean, of all places that we could have gone for 2 weeks.
Victorville.
I mean, I think about you just spent 2 weeks in Paris. And we...
So this is like, I didn't take you to a nice spot for our honeymoon? Or is that what I'm picking up here?
I don't know, people were getting robbed at our hotel.
Oh, out in the parking lot? Yeah.
Yeah, remember?
There's the bunny
There
hop.
it is.
Well, it was nice. Hey, he does a nice cannon roll at the end of it, though. Sammy did.
Yeah, he did.
Remember that?
Yes.
Is that Sally? See?
It was, I mean, that was fun. We did remember our pranks? Remember the prank we did?
Oh, with the
There it
hands and
is.
stuff.
Boom. Ooh. Wait, were y'all in the car? On
No.
that? Okay.
They towed it. We tell everybody that we were.
Took pictures with
Those
those
are pretty good
dummies,
cannon
though.
roll.
Remember?
Well, how many times did he flip there? Probably like
3. I think it was 3,
Oh, okay.
3.5. It's just the magic
the
of
movie
editing.
magic, yeah.
Yeah. Make it look like it was more, but it was really nice. It was a good stunt. You know.
I know. I remember watching this when it first came out and stuff like that, and now it's just crazy knowing that the stunt drivers of that scene are here chilling right now.
Yeah,
you know?
we'll have to get Sammy on the phone on the
you'll have
podcast,
to.
dude.
Sammy's
He
a
is such a character. He's
He's hilarious.
Now, y'all were saying y'all got married before this.
Right before.
on a
2 days.
Saturday.
And this
She
was
thought it
your
Sunday.
This was your wedding picture, right?
Yeah, that's it. That's my wedding picture. And Sally had a tuxedo on.
I had to give that to them. I did that just for you, babe. I thought you looked really
I'm not
good in that.
Sure, but I'm pretty sure that's the only time I've worn a wedding dress.
Well, I hope so.
Well, that's been photographed.
That's
yeah,
been
that's
photographed.
true, huh?
Been photographed. So in addition to Fast and Furious 3 Tokyo Drift, you and I also worked on Big Mama's House 2 together.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
And did we do any other shows together?
Deja Vu.
Oh my God, I forgot that with
Deja Vu.
Tony Scott. Deja Vu with Denzel Washington
Yes.
in New Orleans.
In New Orleans.
Oh,
Yeah.
Narlands, they call it. Narlands.
Yes.
He says it right.
And then
Did we do you went off and did a bunch of other car commercials
I
and
did.
stuff?
I'll never forget. I was going to tell. I did an Audi spot, and it was one day. I went down. I was just pregnant with the twins. We just found out, and we're like, we're not. I'm taking the commercial. I'm not even saying anything. And I went down. The actress that I was doubling.
You went downtown LA.
Downtown LA, Burbank, downtown Burbank, in just a housing tract. And the actress that they had was wearing heels, and her feet were too veiny. So that's the things that you get thrown into is, can we see your feet? And I'm like, what? My feet? Like, I didn't scrub my calluses. Like, so they see my feet and they're like, we need your foot. We need it for the insert shot. So we're going to stick a heel on you. So I was like, wow, babe, you never told me that. So it's like, those are unexpected things. But that one commercial for one day, I made $40,000 off of. So the commercials were definitely where I feel like the money was at. I mean, they were good jobs and
Short.
Yeah. I mean, not so much like the directors were harder to work for and picky, but I mean, when it comes to money, I think at the end of the day, those were the better of the jobs. But yeah. And Vegas, remember Vegas?
Oh yeah, you were the lead in that commercial. What was that? A Mustang commercial?
It was a Shelby
convertible
Cobra. And the Mustang convertible Mustang.
It was a Mustang. I don't know.
Yeah, yes.
I was in the casino gambling, so I couldn't.
There was another Lachlan was his name. He was a stunt driver. He was driving the hard top. I was in the convertible. We had shot all day the day before in the desert. Remember the mines and stuff? There was a bunch of mining, an old, really cool gas station. So then the next day we're going to start shooting nights. We're going to be downtown Fremont Street.
You're going to tell this story?
I don't mind.
Okay.
Hey, we all mess up. I'm not I mean, before I was like in a hole, like I didn't want to tell anybody. So we are downtown. It was like 10, 11 at night. Corey was in the casino gambling, and we were just following camera car. Well, now they were going to do a lock off, and I would say
explain what that is.
a lock off is they're going to put the camera just at a dead lock on the corner of the street. There's not going to be an operator, or I'm not going to be following the camera car. So it's at the curb of this turn I've been doing all night long, going under the bridge. And so now they're saying, okay, yeah, just come in a little bit hotter. Well, because I'm in a convertible and there's people on the side street that are watching.
In Vegas, people in the middle of the night?
And
what
so
they doing out
they
there?
were cheering and yelling and, yeah, girl, if you don't slide that car, you don't have hair on your ass. I was
what
like,
girl wants hair on her
I
ass?
was like, what does
First
that
of all,
mean? But
I mean,
anyway,
they're all cold. I mean,
I was like, it got to my head. I'm going to show them.
And just at that point when I was in gambling, I got this feeling like I better go out and just check and see how she's doing.
Yeah.
So I go to walk outside and
I'm taking the corner and came in a little too hot. And the e-brake was already not in my favor. So I hit all fours and just slid right into that curb. Didn't hit the camera, thank God, but I wrecked the car.
you
And
just
so-
folded the A-arm underneath.
It was you couldn't drive it.
Yeah, it still looked good.
So they had to, the worst thing is they had to then tow the car because the end shot was literally in the courtyard of Fremont Street. So they were going to have me slide in there. Well, they had to tow it in. So I had to sit in the car while people were walking by.
Because you're playing you, right? You're not doubling.
Playing me.
Yeah,
She's being herself.
So yeah, that was really humiliating.
And then didn't you say some lady, that's the girl. She's the one who kissed the curb.
Yeah, I think someone even did.
Yeah.
So that was a hard hit for my career.
No, babe.
Yes,
Nobody
for me,
knew.
It was for me.
Okay. Yeah, it was an
then-
emotional scar for you, but everyone hits the curb. I've hit the curb
Right.
so many times they can't even
But
count.
then I did the music video that you talked me into doing with the
Shadazy.
and I doubled the lead singer Kristen.
Oh, when you hit the bridge.
No, I totally executed. I did a 180. I drove the SS. It was a Chevelle.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This
That was
Chevelle wouldn't, when you went to hit the emergency brake, it wouldn't lock up both tires in the rear, which you need to snap a 180. So we took it to Sammy Malouf's shop, and they welded the spider gears. So now you just got one solid axle, and when one tire locks up, it forces the other one to lock up. Remember that?
Yeah.
And then you did that.
Yeah.
That was a cool. That was
That was a good shoot.
Yeah.
And you knew the didn't know the director. The director was a woman. Oh, remember? She hopped in the car with me, and we had the stunt guy that was doubling Aaron Eckhart. And remember, she got in the back. She had the camera and told him to go and didn't tell the first AD. And we went, and you're like, yeah, I remember. She didn't say anything, and so it was a big, huge deal.
I don't remember
Yeah.
that. Dave remembers because he remembers everything.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was there.
He was there, but yeah, I don't remember that.
Yeah.
So yes, what else is on your
So
IMDb?
that's like a no-no, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Like you're supposed to,
Yeah.
because it's a stunt.
Right.
It wouldn't, if I was just driving the car, it wouldn't be a big deal. But you're supposed to let everybody know on set, like
she
for
would've
safety
She
reasons.
would have got hurt,
Or yeah, someone could walk out and I'm driving.
Yeah, they give you a grid when you get a permit to go film downtown LA. They'll say, okay, you can film between 5th Street and this. Here's your grid. You could go right. They know what streets you're on, and you got to stay within the. It's like the Justin Bieber music video I did when I was doubling Justin Bieber driving a '69 Dodge Charger, and then they wanted to get some running shots with him. Well, he didn't know that there was a grid that we have to stay on, so he just took off hauling ass through the streets of LA. And they're like, wait, whoa, it's live traffic. And he's like, well, I thought.
I got to drive the car. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny.
So do you miss going and working and
I did.
tell them about the roller skating thing you did.
Oh, I roller skated for Nicolette Sheridan. Yeah. That was
Be a professional roller
that was
skater.
my first job with her.
Oh, was that this?
Was roller
Doing
skating.
the roller skating.
Mhm. And then you were shocked because you didn't know that as a little girl, I would roller skate all the time.
Yeah.
Loved it. Would go to the roller rink, and so that was easy. And that was a good job. I loved that.
We worked on Big Mama's house too. Oh, here's one you forgot. You and I worked on The Hitcher.
Oh, the Hitcher.
The Hitcher.
Oh, the Hitcher. That was the
Hitcher.
best with
The best.
Kurt.
With Kurt.
Kurt Bryant. So I wasn't Corey's passenger. I was Dane Farwell's passenger, right? Farwell?
Okay.
Yes, I'm going to say Farwell.
Yeah.
Farwell. And so Corey, being the jokester, he would get on the walkie and be like, Kurt, Sally wants to know when it's lunchtime. I'd be like, what are you doing? Everybody can hear this on set. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
So-
Kurt, Sally's got to go to the bathroom really bad. We cut camera for a minute?
So at least Kurt knew Corey's sense of humor because,
Oh, look, here it is.
oh yeah,
That's the,
you're doubling, his name was Zach.
was it?
Uh-huh. And then I doubled the woman that got killed in the station wagon.
Oh.
This is a remake because the original one was with C. Thomas Howell
And Rutger Hauer.
and Rutger Hauer, who I worked with him on film. He was a weird dude.
Yeah, they were nice. Sophia Bush was very sweet.
Was she? I don't
Yeah, I
remember.
remember. And she had the pit bull that was 3 legs. Wasn't he had 3 legs?
Dude,
And she'd
tripod?
bring him on set. Mm-hmm.
This was a Michael Bay's production company. This is where we met Andrew Storm and who's the other guy we met? Brad Fuller.
Brad
Fuller and Andrew Storm. Yeah, and Sally's in the
Oh,
car I'm ramming you. Remember that?
Yes. Oh,
in the station wagon.
and then Corey, they asked him to ride in the back of the station wagon to film, remember, because of the bumping and banging. The camera guy was in a helmet.
Yeah.
It got bumped one time and was like, no way, I'm not doing this. So Corey's like, I'll do it. So he's in the back seat.
Operating the camera.
So
And-
I think it shows the scene in the back of the car. Right
Yes, right there.
there.
Yeah.
Like that
Corey
brief
was-
shot of just, yeah.
No, that was in
New Mexico,
New Mexico.
Santa Fe.
Lovely place.
Oh, beautiful.
I miss it.
Oh, my, yeah.
The weather, too, was so bizarre. I mean, I thought Texas was.
Oh, and then I did a cannon roll on this film
It'd
too.
snow, and then it'd be like 80 degrees the next day.
Yeah, no, it literally, we'd be on it freezing and then hot. I'm like,
Oh yeah.
Texas is like that.
There
but
it
it's
is.
Like
That
rain.
van. I flipped over that van.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. And they're like, yeah, you did, directors just one that you have to keep the van on the highway. You can't let it go off. I agree.
Yeah, you're like, how am I
Tell
going
that to the van.
Yeah.
We'll
Right.
have that
Like,
conversation. Yeah, sure. I said, absolutely.
Not a problem.
It just happened.
Okay.
It was a flip of a coin.
How long
VeggieTales.
were we on the Hitcher?
We were on it long enough that I actually left, went back and did Transformers for a couple of weeks, and then came back again.
That's right. I do
Remember?
remember that.
So it was a while.
Yeah. Because I flew in after you.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Did you ever get? You never got seriously hurt doing stunts in your career, did you?
No.
What was the tackle under the couch? Didn't you? Didn't you do a fight
over the
scene?
couch.
Over the couch.
Over the couch. That was supposed to be Eva Longoria on Desperate
You
Housewives.
got tackled over the. I tackled you onto the couch.
You didn't.
It wasn't on a film.
Oh,
Whoa.
Hey. All right.
And 9 months later, the twins
Right.
popped out.
yeah. Uh-huh.
This is a house of God. We don't talk about stuff like that over
Yeah,
here.
I was trying to protect her from a cockroach, and just I saw it coming her way, so I dove and tackled her.
Yeah.
Basically saved her life
Yeah.
onto the couch.
Corey Eubanks, hero.
Hero.
Hero, stuntman, father.
Cameraman.
Father.
Yeah,
He can do it all.
cockroach killer.
Oh, I think that I don't know what else. I think that's about it that we worked on. Picture.
How was Big Mama's house? Two.
Oh,
Two.
number 2.
Number 2.
Remember?
Martin Lawrence is not a nice guy. Not at all, and I'm not afraid to say
He
that.
doesn't like white people.
Yeah, he doesn't. He's very racist.
Basically.
Fair enough.
And his whole he's kind of like Tyler Perry. But we were just on the pier. We didn't do a whole lot on
We
Big
sat at
Mama's.
a
We sat
table.
at a table.
Wasn't somebody getting flying across the table?
Was he ratcheted or was he?
I forget.
He hurt I remember the stunt double. I thought he hurt himself at one point. I
Okay.
can't remember, but it was nothing big, nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember I did work on the island with you, but that was like I was background. That was when you flipped over, you and Steve Kelso driving those,
Did the double cannon down in
the
San Pedro.
Dodge. What was that? Not the,
I forget. But I remember on a Transformers movie, and she wanted to work on it
Oh.
so bad as an ND stunt girl. I'm like, I said,
well,
babe,
and Michael had offered.
Yeah.
Kenny Bates.
Kenny Bates.
Uh-huh.
And because we just got married, right?
Yeah, it was.
On that Sunday.
Right. Yeah, that Sunday.
Babe, it was Saturday.
Uh-huh.
And I'm like, no, I don't want you. It's too much going. We're backlot Universal and Michael Bay. It's lots of stuff going on, and I just didn't think you really, at
many-
that point, had the
Well, I
the
wasn't.
experience.
No. And I
So-
wasn't a hit the ground.
Yeah, and she's like, oh, you just don't want me to be down there, and we kind of a little argument
And
about
I
it,
was
right?
Mad. Mm-hmm.
And I pushed you on the couch, and then
Yeah.
her friend,
Yes.
Pushing.
what was her friend? Your friend's name?
Well, my friend's name was Marianne when I first met her, and then her stage name was Olivia.
Yeah, stage name.
Mm-hmm.
But Marianne
Yes.
is. So I'm thinking, okay, here they are, and now we're weaving down through the streets, the back lot at Universal, and Michael Bay wants, and Kenny Bates, he wants people running out of the way, diving out of the way, and here's Marianne thinking, okay, that's where Sally would be. They'd be together,
Yeah.
and Denny Pierce comes down and she runs out where she's not supposed to be, and bam, hits her. She goes flying through the air. I'm like, by the time her body came to a rest, I'm already on the phone. Babe, guess what?
I thought he was joking. I'm like, you're just saying that. And nope. Then
Turns
I
out.
get the call. I'm like, wow. I
Yeah.
would have been right there with her.
How bad was?
She didn't get too bad, but they used it in the film.
Did they?
Yes.
Free car hit?
Yeah. I'm like, what was your stunt adjustment?
Yeah.
Oh,
Gosh.
my first thing was, did you get screamed at? And she said, she didn't think that Michael had even seen it.
Yeah, I don't
Like,
think he saw.
No.
There was too much going on.
Wow.
And that's the thing too, is so much going on. You don't.
I'm driving this tow truck, Dublin, Megan Fox,
Oh,
driving backwards
Yeah.
and, crashing into stuff. And I come to a stop and the tow truck was on fire. And I'm like, oh, shoot, there I am,
oh,
babe.
there it is.
Yeah, that's when you fell in love with me.
Yeah.
Remember that?
I remember you sent that to me, and I'm like,
Yeah. You got to
Ooh.
put the hand on the hip and turn the palm in.
Mhm.
that's
That's
so
the,
good.
that's the whole secret.
The leather
So
studded
good.
bracelet.
That was mine.
Oh.
The pose.
The
Yeah.
pose, yeah.
Pose.
It was
is
so funny because
great.
I'm walking from there. That was in front of my dressing room, and I actually went across the parking lot to go down to the street where we were filming downtown LA. When Megan and her little entourage came around the corner, and she looked at me, she goes, "Oh, I don't look like that, do I?" I go, "Yeah." Matter of fact, people were just waving at me, saying, "Megan, Megan." I go, "No, I'm Corey."
My name's Corey.
I know,
Yeah,
I
my
was
name's
like,
Corey.
Did she sign off on you doubling her?
No,
Yeah.
no, but I remember when I was doubling her and driving that tow truck backwards, and it caught on fire. And back out at Universal, and I came to a stop, and in between these buildings, the tourists, what's the tram, the Universal tour,
The tour. Yeah, yeah.
what's that train thing, stopped, and everyone's like, look, I'm like, it's a Michael Bay film, and the truck's on fire.
Didn't you double Queen Latifah?
Yeah, for one shot, which is so illegal
I
to
wish
do
I
in,
could have seen.
Taxi.
in taxi, sliding up to a curb in front of a hospital, because Henry Kinsey didn't want to do it. Henry was doubling her.
Why didn't he want to do it?
You're doing this, Corey. I'm not going to do that. You're going to do this. And so they drugged me into the makeup room and put a wig on. I had a little blouse and jumped in the car and threw this, just coming in through a 90 up against the curb. But you're not supposed to do that. You're not supposed to, men are not supposed to double women, and Caucasians not supposed to double blacks, and blacks aren't supposed to double Caucasians. It's supposed to be, and I was violating all the rules, but there was nobody there on the set to do it.
To do it. Huh.
Yeah, so I got thrown
Remember
in
that.
the seat to go do that. But anyway, I just thought it would be fun to have you come on
Well, I'm glad you did, babe.
and tell some of your stunt stories, because you got some fun stunt stories.
Mm-hmm.
How was did it take him long to talk you into doing this? Because you worked at a bed and breakfast.
Yes.
before? You ran a bed and breakfast.
I was an assistant manager at a bed and breakfast, so I was like the small town girl.
Yeah.
So when I met him, already I was super intrigued, and then found out he was a stunt man.
A bad boy.
Because we were on a movie set together
Yes.
in 1989.
In 1989,
You were
Corey
12.
I was 17. Or was I 17, 16 or 17?
You don't even know how old you were.
Corey was
Too old.
filming, was it Payback?
Yeah.
He was filming Payback in our high school pool. And
Middle of the night.
Yeah, in the middle of the night, and I was on the swim team. And also a lifeguard. So our coach, he wanted us, my girlfriends and I, a couple of us that were all on a swim team together, to go over to, he had a little shed, and I can't remember, we had to get something out of it. Well, coming in, we're like, oh my God, no way, they're filming here. So that's where I saw him filming in the swimming pool.
And I remember looking over and seeing you and two other girls.
Yep. They were taking pictures of us.
Our still photographer was taking pictures. I'm like, who are these?
Yeah.
They're not in the movie. Who are these? That one's cute. And
Yeah, behind the scenes, he came up and said, hey, can we get some photos of you guys? And then years later, we start dating. We're in his office going through a bunch of pictures. And here we are, my girlfriends and I. And I'm like, no way. So crazy. But yeah, I worked at a bed and breakfast, small town girl. And then I met him, and he was like, hey, you can drive. Do you want to? I'm like, yeah, I want to learn.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
growing up, I always wanted to be an actress, and my dad was like, "Those are pipe dreams." You know, it's just like he was the old fashioned. You're not going to Hollywood. So
Bunch
then
of
when
freaks in Hollywood.
yeah, so he knew something I
was
didn't.
right.
Yeah.
He was, yeah.
Now
He
we
knew.
know, huh?
How
Now
did
you're
he
married
know?
to a guy that
How did
flips
he
cars.
know? He was totally right.
Man.
Hey, speaking of Hollywood, did you guys hear that now they created a category for the stunts for the
Yes.
Oscars?
Yeah.
And the thing that is so messed up about it, just leave it to Hollywood to screw everything up. They created a category for the Oscars that doesn't exist.
It's not even stunt coordinator, best stunt
No.
coordinator, or
You've got stunt coordinator, you've got stunt man, you got stunt woman. Those are the three categories we have. There's a second unit director, but that's not really always a stunt person.
Right.
They want to have it be action designer. There's no union. There's no.
It doesn't exist.
It doesn't exist. It's a fabricated title.
Made up.
Now, here's where it gets. It's going to irritate a lot of people and piss a lot of people off, in my opinion. We're doing this for 45 years. You come up with a concept for doing it. Well, oh, hey, Dave, you just designed that. That was your action designer. But then here's my idea. Then you give that to the stunt coordinator, who then hires the stunt performers. And sometimes it's the stunt performer who has the expertise, the know-how to make the stunt come to life so they can film it.
Right.
so then how do you give it to
The person who came up with the idea,
right?
action designer. Why design the
It's so
stunt?
safe. It's so
It's
safe.
just, yeah, and it's just so. Michael Bay would design the majority of the stunts on the Transformers, but then Kenny Bates would go, or Mike Gunther, these stunt coordinators would make it happen by hiring the stuntmen and the stunt women, and a lot of them were the ones who actually
Well, it's actually this.
stitched it all together to
Right.
make it work.
So it should be the stunt coordinator.
It,
It should be the stunt coordinator, and it should be man or woman, doesn't
stunt
matter.
woman or stunt man.
And it should be best stunt coordinator for a feature film, best stunt man, and best stunt woman.
Right.
I
That's
agree.
what I think.
I agree.
And throw out best foreign short animated feature.
Yeah, who cares?
No one cares,
Yeah.
I can't.
except for Dave. Dave cares.
Because he cares about everything.
The only thing I watch.
It's the only thing he watches. But anyway, yeah, so that's going to be interesting to see how that all pans out. Yeah, we'll appease the stunt community by giving them a title that doesn't exist.
Yep.
Craziness.
You know?
Well, babe, thank you for being on Stunt Stories.
For having me.
It's our
Thank you,
20th
guys.
episode, and we're really
It's our 400th episode.
400.
13.
13.
13.
13 is a good number.
13 is a great
We'll
number.
keep it at that.
Yeah.
So we're going to go down watch our girls compete in a breakaway roping competition, which is just right down the road
Isn't that great?
that way.
Right
yeah.
down the road.
Okay.
On yonder.
All right.
Where they
They're at
Oh,
2.
that starts at 2. It depends on how many. I'm sure
Sometimes-
there's
and then
a
they
slew
probably-
of them.
It's 150 right now.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
better
that's perfect.
hit the highway.
Better.
Hey,
right.
thanks for watching Stunt Stories.
Thank you, babe.
You want a cookie?
Yeah, sure. I'll have a cookie.
You deserve a cookie.
Yeah, thanks.
Want a cookie? Here, have a cookie.
That's going to be the outro right there. You want a cookie?
Ooh, there's a choice here.
Sally.
I want to see.
Take them all.